Hello.
Hello, welcome back to Ears to the East. Hi, Benedict. So today we're going to be talking about music videos, and it's a broad topic. There's a lot of things that make a great music video. There's a lot of things that maybe can spoil a music video for you. We're going to try and talk about some examples that we think you might know, and also maybe some ones that maybe you don't. As always, get in the comments to what you think. But I'm going to throw one thing out first. I'm going to throw a quick disclaimer here because every time the subject of music videos comes up, there's always someone who's like, "Well, music videos aren't really important, blah, 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 blah." And it's like, oh, it's not important for the music. It's like, oh, music videos are just something someone else creates. And all right. And, like, fair enough. And a lot of people prefer to watch for live videos. I get that. Just put that all aside.
I
Put that
don't
aside.
disagree, but
Leave
that's
that
not what we're talking
at the
about
Yeah,
today.
door.
leave your
Yeah,
bias at the
leave that at the
door.
door. Leave that at the door. We're just talking about music videos and the ones we like today. We're going to dive in straight with it because I saw a music video that I really loved this week and it just made me think about it. So anyway, look, okay, you guys, first of all, what makes a great music video for you? Broad question.
I'll take this one, so you better did to the last one than last time. For me, I'm one of those people. I love a music video. I absolutely love music. I like a visual treat when I'm watching a music video sometimes because I'm not always watching it. I'm not always listening to songs on Spotify or a record. I like to stick YouTube on sometimes and have the music playing. And some music videos are just legendary that stick with me, like no matter what. And yeah, I got a question. Would the song even be as good if it wasn't for the music video sometimes? I know that might be a different subject all by itself, but I like it when a
It
band kind
depends
of
on the music video, I would say.
it does.
Yeah.
And I like it when a band shows off their like quirkiness, their personalities a little bit more in the music video. I like maybe kind of going on to like, unfortunately one of the bands I like the most, BAND-MAID, but like sometimes their videos
I
can
was
be.
going to get to them later, but
Yeah,
okay,
I
let's
was gonna
go.
say, I was gonna say some of their music videos recently come off as really generic. The white room backdrop, which is good. You can see the girls play, but so like and as beautiful as
It's
they
it's
all
it's
are,
safe.
it's safe. Yeah,
Yeah.
and like it's safe. And I like some of their older videos where there's a bit more of a meaning behind it, a bit more of a story and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If Howard's gonna touch on it, I don't wanna go too much into it. But yeah,
The
like
waffle is coming.
I
Prepare.
much prefer flashy colors, wackiness, like insane imagery, like the girls or whoever I'm watching doing crazy shit. I mean, even if it's just something like distinctly unique, like even something simple. Like I don't know if you guys can remember, probably more Benedict than Howard here, but Slipknot. Like
Yeah, love it.
it's such an easy video, but they did a
Yeah.
song for Before You Forget, which is just them playing instruments, but the whole premise of that video is they've got their masks off and you can't see their face and you only
Yeah, I
see their
remember that.
eyes.
Yeah.
And it's such an easy thing to do, but it just elevates that music video like so much because of the artistic kind of like vision behind it.
So you'd
Um
say like a visual identity which is
yeah,
both distinct but also matches the feeling of the song.
of
So
this yeah.
you see it and it gives you like a signature for the feeling of the song. It complements the song rather than anything else.
Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. And having a sort of like an iconic music video like that just is amazing. Again, probably something else that I'm thinking off the top of my head. I'm trying to pick Western bands here, so we don't tap into the Eastern bands just yet. But again, White Stripes, Seven Nation Army. As repetitive as that song is visually at the time, bum 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 bum.
Yeah, it was
Actually, we
And
can't
then
do that.
then.
We'll get copyright.
yeah, we're probably get copyrighted. But having the triangles match the beat as it's going through the song and just like the visual of it at the time, like 20 odd years ago, fuck we're old. When that came out, like it was amazing to watch. Like it was kind of like psychedelic in its own kind of weird way, which was a completely different to like the poppy music videos that were kind of going on around that time. So an
It's
iconic
very visually
music
distinct
video,
again, yeah.
yeah, it was very visually distinct. And having that iconic kind of music video attached to like one of your biggest hitters songs, I think can really add something to a song, rather than
Mm.
take away. Personally, that's my thoughts.
Yeah, I do kind of have the same thoughts about it. Maybe throw in a video about, like, in the context of Japanese Asian music, because you mentioned Slipknot, that Slipknot video. I thought a bit similar about that Nemophila Dissension video. Is it
Mm.
Dissension? I always confuse them. Yeah.
Red
Because
hair.
it's also kind of that simple style. Yeah, exactly. It's mostly dark, them in a room playing. Nothing really more
Her
going on
hair is
there.
the music video for me,
But
in all
yeah,
fairness.
the hair, the color grading in that video kind of makes it stand out a bit. But I would say it's still on the lower end of my enjoyment for music videos. I also prefer, I don't know, I think my favorite music videos are actually those who really which feel like a little, how do you call that? Short movie or short film, where you have like an actual separate, it might be like, yeah, combined with the actual story of the song, but just a story visually as well as musically. I think that's are my favorite music videos.
I think this adds like a, because this is one of the great questions when it comes up to music videos in general, is the difference between performance, storyline based, and how much you get both of them. I just wanted to quickly add to what Neon said earlier about like, can a music video make a song better? I think, to be honest, the best way of maybe describing that, to again avoid any hatred, is I think the song is like a good meal. It is as good as it is, but then the music video is kind of like getting dessert or getting that final coffee at the end. It's like, yes, it can elevate it if it complements it, fine, but the meal is still the meal. The meal is great on its own, but you can have something that you tack on the end that improves it if it's a wonderful complementary thing. So I think that's probably the best.
It's like opening a box of McNuggets and realizing that they gave you 5 instead of 4.
Go to McNuggets. I'm like, I'm trying to be at least a little. All right, fucking McNuggets.
I would have said it's like eating a meal, but
it's
not at your usual
sauce.
space, but like in a really beautiful spot.
Yeah,
like that. It's something which is additional, for your McNuggets.
Still the same meal.
Dipping sauce.
I mean, another Western band that does it so good. Again, I'm trying to go Western before we go Eastern here. Rammstein, they do like the best.
Yes.
Music videos alongside their songs, like absolutely amazing. So like you can, if you're good at it and you have that like style and that flair to do that, then fuck it. Why not do it? Because it can add so much more.
And I also think it doesn't really have, it doesn't have to be a fleshed out story. It can also be like in Judgment Day, for example, from Love Bites. It's not really a coherent story, but you get like the little bits. Okay, there are some kind of fantasy characters fighting that shadowy creature. That's kind of all you need, but it's something, It's more than just them playing in a location.
I would say that, I mean, so the storyline thing, I think the biggest issue with the storyline thing is that it makes rewatching much more difficult, because a lot of the time it can detract from that. When it's just like visuals, like I said, if it's just like some fighting happening, it's a complementary visual. It's not like, there's a beginning, middle, and end to it. So I think,
like I said, it doesn't have to
be
be a complex story. That might be actually not beneficial.
I kind of prefer music videos. There are some exceptions, but as a general, I prefer a music video not to have a story. I mean, one good example, I am going to get into the BAND-MAID thing. I think with BAND-MAID, it is true that the majority of their videos are directed by the same person, which is why they almost all have the same style, and it's all just performance. And none of them are bad. It's just that none of them have particular identity, and that's the big problem, because Neon was saying videos should have an identity where you think of it and immediately. Whereas very few of those music videos, I think of the song and the video immediately comes to my mind. The exceptions being the ones that are directed by different directors, Domination being an example, and one of the other ones is
Unleash, right?
Unleash being an example, and one of my favorite ones is Afterlife, which I think is an absolutely brilliant. I think it's like Wes Anderson does a music video. I fucking love that video. And the interesting thing is that technically has a storyline. It has the maids going into the room, but it isn't like a story so much as it's just a visual thing that's developing alongside the music, complementary. I mean, you're not really asked to consider what is the implication, what is the reason for them having this proxy insanity.
But that's exactly what I mean. I think that's totally enough. You don't really need more than that.
Exactly.
It's still better for me than just them playing in a room without that.
It does depend, because you can present just performance in a really interesting way, and if you can, then performance is enough. But
the only thing I'd like to counter about that is at one time I do feel like a story kind of like really works. Like if you're concentrating, there's like loads of stories in music videos where you can kind of follow it, but it's not like the end of the be all end of the song. But what I would like to counter is I feel like if you're doing a particularly sad song, having a sad music video or what the artist is trying to convey in the song itself on screen to kind of like really tug at your heartstrings can really kind of like add a little bit of like more sadness to an
Say
already existing
if
song
it's done right.
if it's done
Because
Yeah,
right.
I've
Yeah.
it can come off
experienced
cheesy.
also the opposite where I'm like watching the video and it's like so on the nose. I don't know, some
Yeah.
person dying in the bed and the other one crying next to it. And I'm like,
There's
what the
there,
fuck, man?
Start
I don't want
over
to see
by
that.
there's a particular
BAND-MAID
music
start
video
over.
that comes to my mind when I think of that, which is really sad but really amazing. It's an animated one. I'm trying to think if it's like Yuri Sisko. It might be Zuta Mayo.
Shelter? Are we thinking of Shelter? I need to bring up Shelter because I think a lot of people know the Shelter video. It's an anime video to a Western song, and that video is known to fuck.
I don't know.
It's really beautiful. It's really beautiful.
Okay.
The one I'm thinking of, it's animated, but it's there's like a girl or a wife, and she's looking out of the room, and there's obviously like a couple's had like an argument or something like that, and the guy's looking at
Oh, this is
her,
different. Okay.
and he wants to say something, but he never can. And obviously, like there's something going on between them where she
Okay.
looks depressed and she's crying, and he's trying to say, "Look, I'm sorry" or whatever, but he never says it. And the whole music video, you think there's just this couple that are just obviously not seeing eye to eye, and they want to apologize to each other, and everything's okay. And then at the very end, she goes and she starts crying out a grave, and then you realize the fucking guy's dead and he's a ghost, and you're just like,
Mm.
oh.
The Sixth
Is this
Sense. I
is this
see dead
the
people.
Nickelback someday moment? Because I remember that was the Nickelback video back in the day, Someday, where they did the exact same trick, and that one was like sort of everyone was like, this is probably one of the cheesiest music videos ever made. But it sounds like
I
the one you're
don't know.
talking about is
I
actually
haven't seen it.
good. It's
Yeah,
a good version of
I
Someday.
can't remember who did it, but yeah, I watched that video and it's a really sad song as well. And just I added with the music video, and like once you get the context and like the kind of like the reveal at the end, you're like, oh shit. That song kind of takes on a completely different meaning that if I hadn't been watching the music video at the same time as listening to the song, I would have been like, oh fuck. Because
But
it's
would you
actually
say that there's
it's actually a really upbeat, quite happy song until you stick like the translation on and actually kind of like hear what the singer's actually saying, and then you go, oh fuck, that's actually really that's
would you say
really
though there's always that risk, and I think this is what Benedict was saying, that like especially if you've got a twist ending, that if it doesn't 100% land and 100% really carry the emotion of the song,
yeah.
it's going to be one of those things where every time you're just not going to watch it because like, every time I watch the video, it's like, oh, I have to watch that terrible twist again. So it's like you really have to land if you're going to have like a conclusion to your story.
But if it works, I'm not sure if you need a conclusion, but if you really hit what you're going for, like with whatever it is, I'm thinking of a certain video from Radiohead. I think it's Creep, where
I
there's.
don't do enough Western videos, do
But
I?
you heard of Radiohead, right? I
I've
hope.
heard of Creep. I've heard of Radiohead. Yeah,
Yes,
don't worry.
okay, good.
I don't think I would
I'm not
recognize them
actually
if
sure
I
if it's that song. I
looked
think
them in
it's
the
that
street. I
song.
wouldn't know who they were.
But there's like just a person lying in the street, and then another person is like stumbling over them, and then like looking at him, talking to him, like, why are you lying there? Wondering about it. And then, yeah, it's like first wondering about him, and then slowly more and more people just lie on the street. And in the end, you have a shot from the top where just a bunch of people are lying on the street, and you don't actually know why. Like every time he tells them the reason why he's lying there in the video, it's just you just hear the music from the song. You don't actually hear the reason. But I think that's
It's a
just
visual metaphor,
such a
kind of.
Yeah.
fantastic video. Yeah, just really brings
Yeah,
the mystery and makes you just think. And yeah,
I th-
not
I
really
think
a
that's I think
storyline, but
yeah,
it's
I think
yeah,
that's I would agree that that's kind of cool because, as you say, it's not a story. It's more like a visual,
or the
like
idea.
not to sound
Yeah,
too artsy, but like it's a visual metaphor. It's a visual
yeah.
representation for a feeling. Like you get the feeling without having to like watch a story.
Yeah.
You can just sort of like
Don't really
it's
have to
developing in the
pay a
same
lot of attention. Yeah.
in the same way that a song will convey a feeling without having to like. And then I was really sad because this happened. You know, songs don't go like that. You know, they
Yeah,
convey a
yeah, yeah.
feeling through a slightly more visceral manner. And yeah, so I get what you mean there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Actually, differs from a story in that.
I think as well, what really kind of like I like as well about Japanese bands is they always do try to be like really unique, distinct with what they're doing. Like again, another example is the Verve. I think I'm saying that right. When they released Bittersweet Sympathy, Symphony, sorry. And
Sympathy.
Symphony.
That's
Yeah, Symphony. And that video at the time when that was released was really iconic. It was just him just simply walking down the street, butting into people, not giving a fuck as he was singing the song, and people were shouting at him and stuff. And that was like really iconic. Then since that's come out, there's been like fucking thousands of like copycat videos, and I've never understood the point of that because I just can't connect to any of those other videos that tried to mimic that particular one.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it's hit or miss, I would say. You have to do it right, then it works really great, or well, it's a cheap copy.
yeah, I mean, one of
it's difficult to do something which is entirely 100% original, but you
yeah,
have to have an idea. And I think that comes down to you being able to connect to the song and go, well, look, what about the song do I want to convey? In the same way, songs, they're all basically using the same instruments and notes for a lot of ways, but like, how am I going to convey what I uniquely feel using these techniques that are mostly already things people have used? And I think music videos follow a same thing. It's like, it's very difficult to do something entirely original, but you're like, I know what this song is, I know what it's trying to convey, and I need to now convey that visually.
yeah.
And if the song's unique and if you're creative, then you should be able to find something that represents that.
Yeah, I mean, one of the guys that directed one of my favorite videos, from a music video called "Keep Going." It's really cool, and I love all the transition shots and all the little Easter eggs and all that he put in, like little visual cameos and stuff like that for some of the audience and stuff like that, and the way that the two girls go backwards and forwards, different. It's a visual treat as well from like the whole music video never being the same. It's always something new going on. Always the next shot, the next transition is always like something else. It's a visual treat and very smooth the way he did it. So,
Have I told you that I love you, by the way?
Cheap promo.
Oh,
Well, maybe get to something else than story, because I think there's a lot more things you can do with music videos. And I had
well,
one thing that I also
okay.
really love about music videos is the idea of having the video, like the editing, the cut of the video matching the
Yes.
music. And I think
Yes.
that's something you can only do in music videos, really. Well,
Yeah.
a bit like movies and stuff, but yeah. You need
I
that
think
connection of visual and music to do that. And I think it's actually, if that is done well, one of the greatest music videos
Yeah.
I
of all
I mean,
time.
think that this is actually one of the sorry, but I think this is one of the big things that I've said so many times about the fact that K-pop, whether you like it or hate it, I've got mixed feelings on K-pop. And K-pop has basically been doing the same video now for 10 years. But one of the reasons why that took over so much in the West is because at the time, the West had this fixation for these low saturation videos where it was all slow motion. So you'd have like a bouncing pop song, but it'd be some slow motion artsy thing, and it was like, it's like, this does not feel, it's like you're pretentious and it doesn't feel right. And then you go to K-pop, and however on those it is, every single cut is zooming, moving with the beat, and everyone's dancing, and everything is so linked up to the beat, and the colors are like, yeah, in your face, and it's like they are 100%, even if they've been making the same fucking video 1,000 times for 10 years, they are basically just syncing visuals to the beat like really intensely. And that's the reason why it's so addictive. I think there are more creative ways to do it, which we'll probably get on to talking about in a minute. But that for me was like one of the big reasons why K-pop just wiped the floor, because they just knew, make it fucking bounce with the song.
So you would say the music videos actually are essential for K-pop.
Oh my God, for K-pop, it elevates it so much because, again, I'm not saying that I would consider it high art or anything, but I was like, if you are trying to create like the addictive, effectively addictive cocaine version of a music video, they kind of get it. They know exactly what they're tapping into in your brain. Like, here's some hot people, and it's all on time. It's like affecting all the rhythmic parts of your brain. It's good looking people, it's colorful, it's pressing all the buttons it needs to, and they know what they're doing. So I think that the music videos are pretty intrinsic to K-pop because they are so tied in with the effect that they're going for.
It kind of reminds me of like Psy a little bit. Like when I think of Psy and I think of his music videos, he's got like a lovely combination of the both. Both. It's like it's really well done, but the humor, like in it just makes those videos just worth watching alongside his songs. And again, this is what I'm talking about, where like an artist can really kind of like extend their personality visually as well as through their music, because you can't watch his music videos and you just know it's just so wacky and funny. It's just so typical Psy that I don't feel like anybody else would do sometimes. That really kind of bleeds its own uniqueness to like his kind of
Well,
weird
I think
music videos.
probably one example that matches up for this, and I've said this a few times, like when we did like the award at the end of every year, we do like one for the best video song combo, and the one I gave it to, sorry, I'm making coffee. The one I made it to last year, gave it to last year, was Gatrick Spin with Kachi Kachiyama. And I kind of explained that it's like, okay, the video it's fairly basic in a lot of ways. But I said one of the things that works is because Gatrick Spin themselves, you need to understand, if you're directing a video with a band like Gatrick Spin, a lot of it is just setting the frame around them and then allowing them to be Gatrick Spin, because they are all different color hair, wild personalities. It's like, really, a lot of the music video is just allowing them to be themselves.
But arguably, that only works for a group like Gatrick Spin.
But yeah, exactly. You can't do that with every group. If you do that with some dour group who don't really have much, very introverted, you're not going to get like, the same thing.
You have a nice frame, but what you see, it's not that exciting.
Yeah, so you need to understand the subject, but sometimes you can have a group who are so visually impactful and interesting on their own that it's more a case of knowing how to channel who they are by pointing the camera in the right way, giving them the right setup, and then not cluttering it. Which is, I mean, Restaurant F did that again brilliantly recently. That was so cool, with just Oreo just bursting through the fucking window and stuff like that, or they shut the door or whatever it was. Sometimes you just need to be able to channel a group who are very visually interesting to begin with.
Yeah, I love that. I love that as well.
Totally.
I totally agree with that. I think that, I love how he can make coffee like just by like I'm like out right now and I'm like staring at his coffee like, God damn it.
Bro, I'm out and I made a lot. I've got one cup left.
I think having good music videos can also accentuate the music itself. For example, I showed you two guys like the Kizu music video to like the murder one, which is the most popular, and I love how that song starts out like slow and melodic.
What's that song called again, by the way? Can we just, because just for people who don't know that, it literally just says fifth single, doesn't
it's just called, they just call their songs fifth single, sixth single, seventh single.
Damn! All right,
it's the fifth song. That's all you need to know.
All right, Prince.
Which is I know, which is quite cool, but at the same
Can't
time,
mistake it then.
Yeah, you'd think so, but there's been loads of times where I've like not listened to Kizu for like 2 weeks, and I'm like, which one was it? Which one was it again?
I'm in humor. I can't
that.
count.
Yeah, I'm like, is it the 10th or the 6th?
Yeah, like 5 years later, single 31.
Yeah, it's a great marketing strategy though, because it makes me listen to all their songs all over again until I remember which one's which. So the
one with the murder. They should just name them like that. The one with the murder.
The one with the murder. But I love how the beginning of this song is just like really slow and sensual for like the first like 2 minutes, and everything's all happy and nothing creepy's going on. And then there's just this like break where the melodic intro goes and it just goes into the song, and then all fucking hell just breaks loose in the music video. People's heads start popping off and everything. It's brilliant.
Just for anyone who doesn't know, this is a video which basically starts off with like a TV set, and then just slowly what appears to be a couple of people on a brightly colored TV set presenting a program just turns into this horror where people are dying, and they
are playing Russian roulette. I think we're allowed to say that.
Yeah, so
you can imagine what happens then.
It's your real turn the joy on its head kind of thing. It's like make something like get the puppies out and then kick them kind of video.
Definitely the shock value. Yeah.
But it is a shock value that is translated very effectively onto screen, which is why, I mean, it's got millions of views. I noticed, by the way, in our Discord chat as well, Neon also posted Doki Doki Morning, which I agree. I think that's a fantastic video, a very low budget video, but an example of how you can make a really good video on a low budget and
that's why
have
I
it
picked
be
that one.
impactful by being visually.
Yeah, that's why I picked that one, because I know a lot of people are going to go for Give Me Chocolate, but I was like, I just feel like Doki Doki Morning, like for what it was at that time, like it's still such an amazing video even now, especially
It works better, yeah.
Yeah, especially
I
Mo's
think
little
Gimme
scream
Chocolate
as well.
is a separate. We have to talk about it separately because it's that live video thing. But anyway,
Yeah,
go on,
that's true. Like live
interrupt.
videos, we're talking about directed videos, yeah. You know, I mean, apart from anything like Doki Doki Morning, it's like it does a couple of things. Like you say, it cuts very well with the music. It carries their personality. You know, it's back then when you have like the skeleton people around. So you get like the metal themes, but you also get the J-pop themes. You get the slightly bizarre bits where it cuts to all the gears and cogs and things, which plays with what time is it that she says in there is what she says that in Japanese, but you know, what time is it?
Also the style that it's done like intentionally a bit cheap, I would say.
Yeah, they lean into it as well. They're not trying to cover up their shortcomings. They're actually having fun with their shortcomings.
Exactly.
You know, the bit where they emerge from the ground like some kind of ritual. That's like so cheesy, but it's fucking awesome.
Just them standing there and turning around.
That's really cool. And you can imagine them filming that and then just sort of like having them spinning on the comp afterwards. That's just fun. That's fun. You know, green screen the shit out of that. Yeah, I love that video as well. And the other thing as well, and I think this is actually another thing I want to bring up, because this is a topic that doesn't get discussed enough with music videos, but there is this thing where with directing, especially with something where you've got fast cuts, it's very important to have like an idea of where the eye focuses. And you hear this talked about a lot with action movies where they have cutting too fast, is that when you switch between two different frames, the director has to be aware of where the viewer's eye is. And if the eye is constantly being forced to jump around and the subject is not centralized well, then you miss things and it becomes tiring and it feels like a mess. A good music video knows where your eye is. And yeah, you can have the viewer jump around, but it has to be very planned. You know, the viewer's eye has to move in a way that is comfortable and exciting for the viewer.
Worst
and
example, Taken 3, I think, the movie. There's a scene where he jumps over a fence, and it's like 15 different camera angles for him climbing over a fence. And it's like, zack, 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 zack. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? He's just climbing one fence.
I can believe that. Because the Taken movies were where they were really trying to like.
Yeah, you really realize there's someone who heard like, or in terms you want to make it more have it more action, you have to do a lot of cuts. That's like
Born Identity kind of thing. Yeah,
it's so overdone. It's really not working.
Yeah, the cam thing was kind of what I was thinking of, but that's kind of as well, like the shaky cam thing kind of influenced a lot of those quick cutting videos, which were movies, which were kind of cool, but it just means like the focal point really has to be thought about. And this is a problem with music videos. And again, I don't want to sound like I'm just shitting on this person, but the person who does like 90%, and you can look at this on Wikipedia and see what I mean, the person who directs 90% of BAND-MAID's videos basically is good at filming them performing, gets a room, films them perform, that's fine. The cameras move to keep motion. But a lot of the time there is that issue as well that your eye kind of just, it's really like, it's just kind of like blurry image, stuff is here, there, the other. And it's like, it doesn't feel particularly, it's kind of like, it's good enough, but it doesn't feel like your eye is really being drawn in. Whereas you look at, again, Afterlife, and your eye is being, that one's very direct about the way it leads your eye around the screen. It even zooms in, zooms out, and transitions in a very direct way. Like the director really knows what they want you to look at. And yes, you can take in other things around it, but if you're focused on one point, the director can really play with that. And I feel this is a big thing in music videos. It's so often overlooked.
Do you guys get like a craving for like a music video, like when a band doesn't release a music video for like a considerably long time? Like, do you
BABYMETAL?
That was exactly what I was gonna say. When BABYMETAL hadn't released one in like years, but then they released a music video when they did a collab. Yeah,
when Metal-y drops, it's like,
and everybody's just like, oh my, and everybody went.
But I have to say,
oh my god, it's a music video.
No, yeah, I was excited as well, but I have to say I didn't really miss it because BABYMETAL, it's live. Life is where it's at.
Yeah, I think.
Right, no one's questioning your fandom, Benedict.
Just had to mention it.
You were okay not seeing Moa? He didn't need to see Moa for a what? I don't follow
I saw her in all the live performances.
Everyone.
But yeah, going from
I
that
don't
is
know
like,
what's going on my second screen permanently.
but
We can
yeah,
guess your
I
best,
always get
obviously.
like a craving for like a decent music video when a band just
Yeah.
released like shit videos for quite a while, and you're just like, I love live performances. Don't get me wrong, but again, there's something about a music video every once in a while where I'm like, I just need a good.
It's an event.
Yeah,
You
it's
tune in for the premiere. It's like, well, what are they gonna
But
do? It's like, you know.
no, I only get excited for bands where I think they will have something interesting. Because, for example, if I'm thinking like, for example, new Nemophila video, I'm like, okay, what's it gonna be? It's gonna be them playing in some location. That's
It could be
it's kind
Night
of
Flight where some guy
yeah,
decides to
okay,
strip off.
okay.
they're
But it's not
obviously
like
gonna
I'm
be
really expecting something
they're
hugely out
obviously
there.
gonna be playing on a Japanese roof.
Yes,
Oh
exactly.
yeah.
Or
Well,
in
maybe
some
that's
garage.
one for another time. But like the list of stereotypes: R17, Saitama, Shibuya Crossing, women running in slow motion,
Yeah, you
rooftops.
know, all that stuff
The
is
list.
fine. It's not really putting me off, but it's also not getting me excited.
I think a lot of people have maybe mentioned this about. I mean, so for example, BAM dropped the quick preview of the single they've got coming out in January. And I hate to say it, with most bands, when they got a new single coming out, you're kind of like the music video is an event. But I already feel like with the BAND-MAID one coming out, I'm interested in the song, but I'm not sure if I really care about the music video because you can already tell it's just going to be. It's not even going to be
Then you
like
know what I
worth
mean.
commenting on the music. Yeah, exactly. So I know exactly what you mean there, and I do actually agree, despite me being a dick.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I kind of
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah,
It's
but on the contrary, if you have, I don't know, groups like HANABIE, who I would say always do something interesting about it, then I'm very much excited for the music video.
yeah, same.
I will actually say that the most recent video they put out a couple of hours ago before recording this, I know you guys haven't seen it yet, so I won't give it away too much. Just in my opinion, I felt like it survived off of being bright and colorful. And again, it's kind of like the Gatric spin quality. I don't think that the video itself really did anything that interesting. It was more just that they were bright and colorful and their personalities were the video
Yeah.
more than the video
Okay.
really doing anything that we hadn't seen a million times from HANABIE before. I think the director was just kind of like, probably a director who's worked on their previous videos, just like, just put HANABIE on there, let them play out the song naturally. And it works because of HANABIE. Anyway,
Sometimes
you
That's
guys
not
can
becoming a
comment on that. So,
trend
yeah.
of them becoming less innovative with their videos.
Yeah, I
yeah.
think they don't have to be as innovative just because they are, so bright and insane. So I think they are in that safe zone where they have less need
Don't
to
have
innovate
to,
because their
but
personalities will carry.
I would prefer it.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I looked at this video and I saw like, okay, they could. It didn't right. I was like, okay, this is kind of very expected, but still, it's fun because HANABIE, like Gatric Spin, can pull off expected because of who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I think there just needs to become a certain point though where you shouldn't fall into that trend. I mean, like Love Bites are the same a little bit. I fucking love Love Bites,
Yes.
but a lot of their music videos are like, I'm like, yeah, I know what you can do as well, and I know it's hard to do when they're all playing instruments. They can't really. But even if it was just a music video where they're not all playing and it's like they're all on an adventure or something like that, would be something uniquely different to like the
Yeah.
99% of the videos we already get. And I'm not saying those 99% of the videos are bad because they're not, because they're when they
Exactly.
play it and the music is playing, they're amazing. But sometimes I feel like I've always been the one where I'm like, look, if I'm gonna make a song, I want the music video to be on par with that song. I want it to be like a visual treat. I want that music video to stand out as much as the song does. Um, and I've always been like, like if you're gonna do something, then you put 100% of the effort into it. And sometimes it does feel like a lot of these bands probably they do the songs, they put the effort, they do all the musician stuff, but sometimes when it comes to like the music video, it's palmed off to somebody who just does it as a job or a profession, and it lacks that little bit of passion sometimes, I think.
Yeah, you can have the functional ones, like the BAND-MAID ones. You can have the functional ones, and they're not bad. It's just kind of like you're so excited for the event that you kind of want it to be like Neon says. You want it to be like, oh, go on, excite me, blow my mind. Can I
Yeah.
just say? I just wanted to quickly add with the Love Bites thing. Glory to the World. Still, I think my favorite Love Bites song. I love the fact they got stigma. Dresser just walking around. Oh, I'm lost in a field. think I got wasted. Ah, shit, I'm bleeding. I gotta get back to my salon, man. Where's my salon? What? They fucking built a church on my salon. It's like, bro, I need to do some hairdressing. Oh, fuck. I love that video because in my head, that's the narrative. It's a hairdresser who got wasted.
Oh,
So no one's hair looks that good.
I wouldn't know.
It's
I'm
interesting to
certainly
me that
fucked
they
up.
always, a lot of times, they seem to choose like Western people if they have to choose some actor. They often choose Western people. I'm wondering, do they think it's more appealing to the Western audience, or why are they doing that?
I don't think they do. I think we remember when they do it. I think there's plenty of ones where they have like Japanese people.
Yeah, that might be true.
I think we just notice it because it looks rather on the
maybe,
nose, because it looks like panda.
You're right.
We're all sat there. We're like, you're not from Japan.
Are we being racists? We're just like fucking whiteies in my Japanese video.
If I wanted to see a white person, I'd look outside. God damn it. So yeah.
It's not exotic for me. That's the fucking high street. But yeah. For me, it's more exotic. I get to see I get to see all those foreigners in the wild.
Yeah, I was gonna say if I wanted to see a white man, I'd look in the mirror. Come on.
But we only have 2 minutes left. I wanted to ask you guys, or let's also throw out some recommendations for people maybe to check out the most
something a bit odd,
special, unique videos or artists that make the unique videos. And I will make a start with a group called The Chemical Brothers. You might know them. It's a Western group, more electronic stuff, but they really have the most unique videos, in my opinion. Check out Star Guitar. In my opinion, one of their greatest videos. It's just the view out of the train, but everything that's happening outside of the window is like matching up with the beat and stuff. It's really interesting.
Yeah, I think I've seen that one. Yeah, I think I've seen that one.
My recommendation is Kizu, the visual K band. Go and watch either single number 5 is the one I recommended on this video. It's all about the game show stuff. It's just an awesome little video that goes along with the song really, really nicely. Go on.
A little bit of a gore warning.
Gore warning, yeah.
And I'm going to throw in as a group. They use the same director, ironically, for most of their videos, but I just think they're so inventive. It's they've only got 5,000 subscribers. It's a group called Kinopo. You can spell it Kinopo. They're like an auto-idol group, but their music is very rock-based, extremely fun, full of personality. The reason I'm recommending it is because their videos are batshit crazy, but they tend to be very, very fun, full of joy. And
the song T.
Yeah. The new single T as well. And if you look at it, it's just there's so much happening on screen, but it's so on point. It just carries the feeling of craziness, the fun, the impact. It moves with the music. It's brilliant. There's so many great music videos, though. So get in the comments. Tell us what you think. I mean, we could bleat out lists ourselves, but let's
give us your recommendations.
Yeah, give us your recommendations. Link to the videos that you want us to watch in the comments down below. I'm sure we could do a part 2 where we check out your guys' recommendations, because I'm sure there's plenty we've missed and ones we don't know about. That would be awesome, just doing all 3 of us, just kind of like watching your music videos or something like that. I think that would be a fun little episode.
And until we do, remember to keep your ears to the east. I always end up with 5 seconds to go, so just wave your arms.
It's always too long, man.
My bad.
That's